An explanation of our television show. The show is comprised of a series of our short films about our lives. Then there are shorter interstitial films laced throughout. All of these elements are combined and a TV show. Some pretty monumental stuff happens in this episode. Van decides to go through with his which is maybe one of the darkest times in his life. At the same time, we both celebrate the biggest accomplishment of our careers. This was definitely the hardest episode of the season to make.
This episode has been censored.
Shoot this, I'm sorry. But, I haven't cried like this for 2 years. And,
I went through some heavy shit shooting this episode. But I can't show it to you, for legal reasons. I can say it was dark, and it came right in the middle of a very happy time in my life. Happy because, during the shooting, it was time to sell this TV show. I just found out the BMW dealership is 1 mile from here, so I can ride this, and I don't have to get a taxi. I love California!
Just arrived in
Austin, Texas.
and I found out I've got a meeting in Los Angeles, an important meeting about selling the TV show on Monday. So we've decided to drive from...
We're gonna take a road trip.
So here we were. Martine and I were about to embark on a super fun cross-country adventure. Then Van called. He was dealing with some pretty heavy personal shit. This is the shit that's censored. The shit we're not allowed to talk about. He also told me he was making this episode, at least in part, a misery. So I figured I'd compensate. And try to make my part of this episode about the happiness in my life. Given the circumstances, this sounded pretty easy. I was about to drive 1,600 miles across the country with the person I know. We had 5 days to kill, and we didn't have any directions. A real adventure on our hands. The difference between traveling and an adventure is that when you travel, you go to a specific destination, like Disney World. You know before the trip that you're headed to Orlando, and for the most part, you know what you're going to be doing on the entire trip. With an adventure, you have no idea what's next. No plans for where you're going to sleep or where you might wake up. So we drove until we found a cool place or got too tired to keep going. Our first day ended in Amaryllis. This is the best bowling alley in the world. It's 11 o'clock on a weeknight and it's filled up with babies. Also, you only have to be 13 to drink here, and you can smoke inside.
This place is amazing.
Martine is a really great sport. The guy at the bowling alley recommended us to this scary hotel. We're headed to the hotel now. We're both scared. Genuinely scared.
Genuinely scared. I think there's a blood stain on the curtains over there. I can hear the TV next door.
And this is Amarillo by morning. I am not rich, but I am free. Sometime after Amarillo, Martine just started dancing. And she kept dancing. She danced us across New Mexico and into Arizona. She danced us out of getting arrested for driving 120 miles an hour.
Next stop.
Danced to the coolest hotel I've ever stayed in. Over the Grand Canyon. Danced us through a 3-hour traffic jam at the Hoover Dam.
Thin Mints, the cookie of choice.
That's her handing out Girl Scout cookies to the other people stuck in the traffic jam. Martine is not a Girl Scout. Danced in Vegas. Then, as if Van's personal problems were just before I got to LA, I got some really fucked up news about our HBO deal. Alright, so I just got some really fucked up news.
Okay.
Now, we don't know what this means, and doesn't necessarily mean bad, it doesn't mean... The head of programming at HBO is leaving her post effective immediately. Our meeting, the purpose of this entire adventure, was with that head of... This fucks up everything. We made it to LA. Found Van. Everything had changed. I was not psyched for our meeting. I was scared. We still did our best to have fun the night before. Martine even danced a little. This part of the show, my part of the show, was supposed to be about happiness and love. And it still is. The happy ending is coming.
I believe in running away from my problems, and LA is a good place for it. LA is fun. Casey found this adult jungle gym in Santa Monica, and he dominated it. And it was really good to see Martine. I was happy to be in LA. But I had a tough decision to make, and I was also concerned that we were losing our TV show. What conversation did you just overhear?
Tom's on the phone with our mole at HBO. And I just heard him say they're only meeting with us because they feel bad we flew all the way out here.
But check out our view. Skateboarding was invented. Let me introduce you to the team. On the left is Tom Scott. Tom co-invented Nantucket Nectars in his 20s. He sold it when he was my age. That's him on the bottle. It was Tom's idea to make a TV show in the first place, and he bankrolled this entire season. On the right is Christine Vachon, and she also produced a movie that changed my life. She's producing this show. He's in the middle, but you already know him. We're headed into the network we've codenamed The Kingdom. This is the big one. This is the pie in the sky, the one we're hoping for. The home box office. Here comes an abrupt cut to after the meeting. We have a business rule called out of the building where we don't talk about the meeting until we're out of the building just in case someone who works with said company is around. So we won't go out of the building. That's what's called a sigh of relief. As we're descending the stairs from our meeting in HBO, this man says, I know those guys. That's the Neistat brothers. He says, hi, I'm Mike Lombardo, who is the head of the entire world. The deal was still on the table. Nothing was final, but we were in good shape. Tom and Casey immediately discussed business strategies.
I want to move forward with the understanding that they are ready to buy.
Yes.
Can't remember ever being so psyched.
Fuck yeah!
Oh my god! HBO, man. So, it looks like we're really gonna get this TV show. And, well, my life's gonna change. This will be the biggest life-changing move in my life. And I've just been thinking about everything. I gotta go back home and do some very difficult things. So this is just the first glimpse at what happens. What happens when your dreams actually start to come true. I guess I could call this movie My Burden of Dreams.
It was tough to see Van so down after such a huge week. We're on the verge of something here, and he was struggling.
This is the first time I can ever remember not being happy to be back in New York City. We're setting up. So we've been editing this episode for 7 months.
This was the episode we had to re-edit because there were some legality issues involved, and then we wanted to make it better. And we think we've gotten it to a place right now where it's really rock solid, but there's some parts that are confusing, and it wasn't long enough. So we're gonna try and use this footage of us talking into the camera to get us to 22 minutes, so it'll be considered like a proper episode.
This is the first movie I ever made for my mom. Now, I'm no sissy. I ride a motorcycle and I can fix an engine and everything. But when I'm going through some shit, I take comfort in Joni Mitchell's music. She sings about California. France. And Canada. she sings about cokes and chocolate bars and the guys who fuck her over. There's wisdom in her music, and for some reason, it makes me feel better. I'm on the phone with my mom, who probably played Joni Mitchell for me while I was still in the crib.
And you know, those words of the song you quote, she says, we love our loving, and then she says, like we love our freedom. Not like we love our freedom. She says, we love our loving, like we love our freedom.
Are you sure? Because I have the lyrics right in front of me, right in my hand. Are you sure? You stand by that? Did you look them up?
Did I look them up? Did you look them up?
Yes, I have them right here. It says, we love our lovin', but not like we love our freedom. So we're at the point in the episode which has been censored. And this is the part where I go through my dark experience. Met with Tom and Casey, and they're at I make a movie about not this specific dark experience, because I'm not allowed to mention it, but a dark experience. So I need an idea for a movie, and I'm totally out of ideas. So I need to consult an invention. I need to consult the idea machine. This outcome was not faked. This is the ball that came out randomly. So now I have to make a movie about this. I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest kid. The older brother. I had it real easy. My dad sprung for half of my first car. And I got to go to college. Jordan's next. She's the only girl. 5 years younger than me. Jordan got good grades. And a benzo when she was 16. This is around the time when things got pretty dark in my family. This is when my parents split up. Jordan stopped talking to my mom for 4 months. Casey was 15, and he moved out of the house. And Dean, who was 14 at the time, stopped smiling in the family photos. I went to Europe. No phone calls to my little brothers and sister. No trips to Connecticut to assure them that it would be okay. No big brother talks. I simply disappeared. Eventually, Casey got his first car, a Ford Taurus. He dropped out of high school and had Owen. Dean got a Hyundai and joined the Air Force to pay for college. And I don't have any pictures of that. From then on, we were on our own. So, That was a dark time in my life, too.
It's gotta be in the top 10 worst days of my life. This feels perverse. Shooting us.
After I went through with my decision, I basically turned into a middle baby. I knew I was doing the right thing, but I didn't have any confirmation of it yet. I needed to clear my head. So I went for a ride. A 10-hour ride to my friend Keller's farm in Virginia. This may sound a little corny, but the farm really is a magical place. Keller's family for over 200 years. I learned how to ride a motorcycle at the farm. So did some of my friends.
1 second.
Casey and I shot some of our earliest movies at the farm. Legend has it that James and Dolly Madison came to this very farm for the healing power of its natural spring water. I don't know about that, but somehow the place always makes me feel better.
I'm on some island off the coast of Belize, and it's exactly 2.5 since we walked out of that meeting in Los Angeles with HBO. Van, you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I just want to let you know that I just got the call, and we closed the deal. HBO bought the show.
What? Yes, congratulations! It's a... And that was the last we heard of Casey Neistat.
Now, I wouldn't say this news fixed any of Van's personal problems, but realizing a lifelong dream, it certainly didn't hurt.
Josh? Boys? What's up? Just got off the phone with Casey in Belize. We sold the show to HBO.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
SRQPO and ML KJI HGF DCB